I was going to do a recap of what's happened so far in Leon's chapter 1 and 2, and then as I was thinking about what happened in that chapters 1 and 2, I realised that really none of it so far makes sense. You start in a university as a Secret Service agent, you shoot the president, then you meet another Secret Service agent that you didn't realise worked for the Secret Service. Then you go out and explore a campus where they talk as if they've never seen this place before and they have no idea what's happening, and yet the president was turned into a zombie presumably right in front of them, and a man said that it was distributed by gas, so everyone in the building got turned into a zombie except them, but they were unaware of it happening even though it was happening in front of them, and they apparently didn't enter the building before appearing in that room, so it's very much as if they simply appeared in that room, which is of course exactly what happened. Anyway, so we went through university, there were zombies, we went out, we wandered through a town, we helped a group of survivors, all of whom ultimately died, we went to a cathedral where we got a load more survivors killed, so far the body count's pretty high on our account. Then we went into an ancient temple of some sort and killed a boss, and now we're still in that ancient temple, which is where chapter 3 starts. I realised that part of the reason I was dying so much last time was because my skill settings weren't very well chosen, so I've chosen a more defensively orientated build this time. I'm going to stick with item drop increase for now. I hope that it gives me more herbs. So we continue Leon chapter 3. Switch it to offline. For some reason it defaults to online again every time.
The President spoke highly of you, Agent Kennedy.
Likewise. He told me you've been friends for 30 years.
Tell me, is it true you were the only ones present at the time of his death?
What are you saying?
Well, you must be aware that you are both
Suspects in this attack.
What?
Agent Harper,
At the time of the attack, you had abandoned your post.
leaving the President vulnerable.
You must admit such behavior is suspicious.
You son of a bitch! You're the one who planned all this!
With what evidence could you base such an outrageous accusation?
I am the National Security Advisor. It's my job to...
Prevent terrorist attacks, not cause them.
You liar!
Lena!
If the two of you...
Feel so strongly about your innocence, then you should have no problem turning yourselves in.
I'm gonna make him pay.
Looks like things just went from bad to worse.
So we have a clear objective to go and stop him. This is where the boss fight happened, so we're going the other way.
You and I are in the same boat now. I'd say that officially makes us partners. Like it or not.
Fine by me. As long as you help me get to Simmons. Simmons?
Well, with that lab of his sitting right on top of us, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say yes.
This A. Can you trust her?
That's not an easy question to answer.
A little history there, huh?
So we're in some sort of ancient tomb where they weren't very good at burying people. Not quite sure why they're posed like that. That's a snake. Bodies look kind of Norman, medieval. Sort of very early medieval era. But this is America. So I'm not quite sure why there are medieval era bodies in a catacomb under a church on the outskirts of town. There's quite a cool statue up there. That is... ooh, an assault rifle. And now we will see the inventory system of this game start to come into play. Because I can't pick up that ammunition. So if I have a look at my inventory... The problem is that each stack of ammunition uses up an inventory slot, but there aren't enough inventory slots to carry a stack of ammunition for each weapon you eventually end up with, and all of the grenade types, and carry any healing items around, spare healing items around for when you need to combine them. I obviously don't want to throw away a red herb because I'll need to combine it with a spinny blades. The traditional flawless spinny blade mechanism from hundreds of years ago that continues to function.
Could have said a prayer or two while we were still up in the cathedral. Why is it the dead can't ever stay dead?
The spinny blades do kill the zombies, which is quite satisfying. You actually can't stand up while under the blades, which I really like. Rather than being an annoying situation where you, by pressing a key wrong, instantly die by having your head chopped off, as would be the tradition in more of a platform game. I think you can run into them if you're standing up, but assuming you manage to get down on the floor in time, you can't accidentally kill yourself by letting go of a button. Which is great. So the assault rifle, curious weapon, very powerful.
Well, we're not going that way. Unless you like playing with fire.
Come on, we'll find another way.
Strangely, its problem is that it doesn't carry very much ammunition per inventory slot, so you can't carry much ammo for it. Oh yes, the problem with the weapons is, of course, I can go, oh well, I'll just destroy that ammunition, I don't want it, but there's no way to put guns down, so it will just continue dropping ammo for guns that you don't want to use. That zombie's carrying dynamite. I'm not actually sure if you can shoot the dynamite out of his hand. Elena has gone off there by herself, again because this is in single player, she's doing something. In co-op I would have to do that myself. I think that's fine. I think it's a perfectly sensible way to build a co-op game. What we actually missed there is that the reason that the fire was happening was because a zombie was turning a crank. It doesn't seem worth criticising on grounds of realism because it's sort of so far over the line that there's no point even thinking about it. Turn this crank myself to make fire happen.
There's writing on this door. Set forth evidence of kith and kin.
Kith and kin. Simmons family tree? I didn't bring any evidence, did you?
Nope, not related. You think they left any lying around?
Wait a minute. The ring Ada gave me.
A ring? When did she give you a ring?
Bingo. Thanks for the gift, Ada.
So Ada knew that we'd need that somehow. Nice variation on the usual get on the turret. Not sure whether that's actually killing them or not. Let's go and find out. Ah, set them on fire a bit. So at the point at which we rescued Helena's sister Deborah, Helena's sister Deborah, we'd fallen down a chute into a cave, which we had no reason to believe had anything to do with anything. We picked her up and then said, let's just get out of here, and then walked further deeper into the cave as if that was going somewhere, where we came to a tomb that the dialogue clearly indicates we weren't expecting and had no reason to know was here. But luckily Ada knew we'd be coming this way, and so gave us the ring that we'd need to unlock the door when we came here. I don't think they're even trying. I think the situation's good fun though, having to defend against this many zombies. Gameplay-wise, because of the way the inventory system works, I'm actually incentivized to use up as much ammunition as possible, rather than act in a way that tries to save it. I'm going to spend a lot of time from now on switching to guns and reloading them. There is a way to do ammunition correctly, and this is a game that doesn't quite get it. If you are limited in how many you can carry, say you can only carry...
Water I'm worried about.
I'll talk in a second. So I have a kind of hydrophobia in computer games. I do not like going into water. I'm not too worried in this one because I've done it before, but normally I would be quite reticent about this sort of situation. I think it dates from the original Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 1, where...
Just once I'd like to find a place flooded with warm water, you know?
It just went out through that door. The original Tomb Raider had crocodiles that would sneak up on you in the water. Terrified me as a child. And ever since I've been very nervous about murky water in games, which of course is fairly common. So ammunition is typically limited, so you can only hold, say, 100 bullets for your pistol. And the right way to do that is that it doesn't matter whether those 100 bullets are in the pistol or not. Because otherwise, whenever I come across a pistol pickup and can't pick it up, I have to switch to the pistol and reload it in order to be able to pick up those bullets, which just slows gameplay down and doesn't really add anything. And there are a few games that get that right, but mostly it seems to be wrong. This game's sort of excuse is that because of the way the inventory system works, that sort of wouldn't make sense to do it in that way. But of course, the inventory system is quite bad anyway, so that's not a brilliant excuse.
Roger.
Elena, take the high road.
So I've been left. Just here by myself, hoping that thing doesn't come back. Sure what she's doing, if anything. The problem with this inventory system is that it adds substantial fiddliness, but no real tactical selection. In Resident Evil 5, you can choose which weapons to bring with you.
Helena! Helena! Are you okay?
Fine, but I'm way over here now.
I'll cover you as much as I can. Just keep moving forward.
Need to concentrate for a second on covering her. At least I assume I do. It's been fairly inconsistent so far in whether or not I need to help out my co-op partner. Sometimes they're fine without me, and sometimes they die if I don't help. So the safest thing to do is probably to help.
Okay, Leon, go! Leon, I can't get through. Can you open it from your side?
Hold on, let me check.
Spinny blades.
Can you get through now?
Yeah, I'm good.
No way we're getting through that.
Maybe there's a way to stop it.
So there we can see the zombie turning the lever that makes the... I mean, that in a sort of necromancer situation, that would be okay. Nothing intrinsically silly about that. But in a situation where they're virus-ridden, medieval, I don't know.
Guess what? There's no crank here. I'm gonna look for it.
Look for it. There's no guarantee it's even in here.
True. But what the hell else are we gonna do?
The zombie was carrying something, but I couldn't see what it was. It looked like it might have been a quiver of arrows. Oh, I should have used some healing points. The skills I selected, Defense 3, actually fairly substantial, reduces the damage I take by 50%. 50% I think, so that's quite a big deal. These zombies actually know how to crawl through the... Surprisingly difficult to shoot when they're lying on the ground. I think that one got turned into a bloodshot by another zombie shooting at it. There we go. You can sort of sprint forward when you're crawling. So, pretty contrived, but as a co-op section, not too bad. Work together, cover each other. The other player can actually start these spikes going if they want to, which can be a bit of a problem.
Welcome back. Looks like we're finally making it out of here.
So that's a nice situation where I
Let's keep moving. I'm sick
need
of
to help
that.
my partner despite the fact that she's invulnerable. I still need to help her in order to get onwards, which is straightforward but nicely done. Won't bother going all the way back that way. Hope there isn't some secret treasure.
Roger.
Classic.
Welcome to the center of the Earth.
So it's a beautiful environment. Huge statues, ruins, annoying walkways and things. In God of War or something, this would be fantastic. Like almost everything else in this game's story and setting, it doesn't make any sense. There's no justification for it. Why is this place here? It's something to do with Simmons' family, but I mean, this is a magical environment. It doesn't make any sense. And this is I know it's B-movie, but barring that it's B-movie, a borderline serious situation. It's analogous to the sort of power cores in Star Trek problem where they just have these ridiculous environments that make no sense. Whatever that thing is, he threw it at me. And the characters are continuing to act as if we know where we're going, despite the fact that we're obviously now have absolutely no idea where we are and have stumbled into Prince of Persia or something. Good thing I brought all these herbs with me. Historically, computer games haven't been spectacular at this, but it seems particularly bad in this game. The senselessness of what's happening and where we're going, the fact that our characters are clearly just wandering with absolutely no idea of where to go.
I promise you, we're not gonna let Simmons get away with all this.
Good. I won't rest until he's paid for what he did to Deborah.
I mean, the conversation that they're having is about the National Security Advisor. They're talking about a political traitor problem, but the environment in which they're doing it is an ancient underground tomb. The tone of it doesn't really match up. If we were walking through a laboratory where we were witnessing the horror of his his evil experiments, then fine. It just doesn't really have anything to do with the game that they're making. They seem to have sort of gone, wouldn't it be cool to have a medievally environment?
Just couldn't let us go, huh?
And not put any thought into how to justify it. Chase the Screamer. Oh. Turns out you can't dodge them. Countering one seems to mean that the other ones all automatically miss you, which is a godsend, really. That's something it's quite easy to get wrong. Where you do something cool to survive, but the fact that there are any other enemies present means that it fails. Is a mechanical situation you don't want. Oh, I thought he was dead. Oh joy, another one.
Oh, shit!
Leon!
Thanks for the assist, partner.
Careful. I can't always be there to save you.
I think in a broader sense it's an example of a level which is stretching out the content. What we're doing has nothing to do with what we're supposed to be doing. Now this is an interesting situation. I think if I try to demonstrate this mechanic I'll get killed. That guy. Our guy's strapped with explosives. They're called Whoppers.
You're over the weight limit.
Oh, I killed myself with that bomb. That wasn't clever. If you're on the bridge when he starts charging across the bridge starts crazily bouncing everywhere and knocks you down, which means that he then pretty much automatically murders you. I'm assuming that was scripted rather than being a result of any sort of integral physics. But it's a really nice detail. It's that sort of thing I mean about the game having a lot of variety. Although it's the same enemy type again, it's fought in very different circumstances. First time we fought one of those was in a tiny room. Second time, from a bus, I think. And then this one on a rickety wooden bridge. This assault rifle actually has a bayonet mounted on it, which is a surprisingly practical zombie killing weapon. Haven't seen any green herbs for quite a long time. I'm gonna plant a bomb in advance this time. He seems to have forgotten we exist. No, he wasn't dead. We don't want to be on this bridge with this guy. Oh, that's what they do when they get to you. That was pretty pathetic on my part. Not too far back.
Sorry, you're over the weight limit.
There's an intriguing kind of action design where, as you can see demonstrated there, when, if that monster is left untended, it will kill you. Whereas if you just keep firing at it, it's no threat at all. And it makes for a very high tension game where you have to keep acting positively rather than acting tactically. You just have to pull your shotgun out and blast. Whereas with the zombies, obviously shooting them carefully in the arm is the right way to do it to preserve ammunition. That's a balance that I think all of the Resident Evils have maintained fairly carefully, because the way the games are supposed to be balanced, where ammunition is relatively scarce, is actually quite difficult to do. I'm not sure having it in his mouth is significantly worse for him than having it in his hand. So Resident Evil is divided into sort of not just ammunition collection sections as you get in something like BioWare, but ammunition preservation sections, whereby the objective is to avoid fighting too many zombies in order to avoid using up too much ammunition. That's not really true in the later ones, but even so, I mean, you're encouraged to kill these zombies with as little ammunition usage as possible. Even if I am encouraged to kill them, I'd still prefer to do so efficiently. And then you've got your boss sections where the boss is sufficiently dangerous that even in a game which is about ammunition preservation, you're still inspired to try to use you're still inspired to fire wildly, because the design of the mechanics means that you're rewarded for doing so. Which, when done correctly, means that you end that section with very little ammunition, thus making ammunition preservation in the next section more of a thing. Well, that didn't go quite according to plan. So I'm switching weapons constantly because it will keep dropping ammunition for all weapons. As far as I can tell, it isn't particularly biased to drop ammunition for any particular weapon, like one you're short on or anything like that. It might be, it's difficult to tell. But any weapon I haven't used for a while, I'm likely to get ammunition that's I can't pick up because my inventory's too full. Which means I'm constantly switching to weapons even if they're not particularly tactically useful for the situation.
You got it.
I'm not allowed to look away.
Elena, get out of there!
Leon! I need your help!
Now, of course, because it happened in The Lord of the Rings, all of these pillars are going to start collapsing. Well, maybe not these ones in particular.
Enough already! Shut the hell up! These guys never go down easy.
I can hear something nearby. Oh, don't melee attack the one with the dynamite. Dynamite itself, of course, is much newer than the culture that seems to be being presented in this catacomb. You can see the bridge wobbling there from the Whopper going over it.
The elaborate bridge system.
The Whopper, of course, is supposed to be a joke about American obesity, but
Means there's gotta be a way out.
it's not clear why they're in these catacombs. Still no green herbs. When you zoom in, it offsets your aim a little bit, which I've not seen before. I'm not sure if that's now standard in FPSs, but it means that you can't, as always used to be the case, pre-aim the centre of the screen and then just aim and fire immediately to strike something dead centre, which used to mean that sniper rifles were really effective melee weapons. Can't get down there for any of that loot. Where are we going?
You got it.
Random walkways. I'm not sure this environment makes any sense. The dynamite implies that they built it for some reason. There's some sort of super duper shrine thing over there. Looks pretty, doesn't seem to have any function. She can come and rescue me, but she didn't. But she's fallen off as well. That's not ideal. Falling off seems to be semi-random, which is quite cool. Didn't time that counter very well. Oh, that must have been a spitter. Yep. Other type of enemy way, patience and paying attention is rewarded more than acting crazily. And a mixture of those enemy types, of course, in the same combat makes for a really varied set of motivations. And now, of course, the ancient catacombs, which have persisted for 1,000,000 years despite being radically architecturally unsound, collapse the moment we come into them, because it happened in The Lord of the Rings, I guess. It seems like a strange choice of V option, given the tenseness of the situation. I mean, traditionally for that sort of event, you would do something which caused them to collapse, and you would do so in the knowledge that that was what was going to happen, thus adding a sort of element of sort of semi-tragedy to the situation, where we were willfully destroying this place that was ancient and had persisted despite being difficult. But when it just collapses for no particular reason...
Oh God! What do we do?
Hell if I know!
Now we are underwater. This is nice. The closeness of the camera makes this work really well. I really feel like I'm enclosed in this tiny little cubbyhole of air. Tree roots seem to suggest that it's underground still, which I'm not sure where the air came from in that case. Oh, there's the fishy thing. Obviously not a good situation. Running a little low on air now. Yes. So if those are tree roots, how did that zombie end up suspended in them? I don't understand that at all. I guess it's maybe supposed to be a grave or something? Oh yeah, here we go, flooded graveyard, right. Yeah, that's good. That's reasonable. They said. I mean, it's a simple explanation. It doesn't entirely make sense, but they've said, well, why would there be zombies underwater? Well, maybe it was a flooded graveyard. Fine. Explanation good. And that the zombies don't know how to swim seems fine. Definitely a situation where having a little thing that tells you where to go is a good thing. Lena is thinking about coming to help.
Not my lucky day. Helena! No!
I don't know if space and R makes sense in whatever the console controls are for this. It's a really tricky thing to push with no warning. This is a good example of QuickTime events that are uninvolving you with the situation that's happening, because it's not really clear how what you're doing is anything to do with what you're seeing on the screen, and instead you're having to watch the prompt, so you can't watch what's going on, because what's going on doesn't actually matter. And that, I think, that's the real failing of QuickTime events. It ought to be obvious from what's happening what I need to press, because that's how the controls in the rest of the game work. In any game. But in this case...
That thing's still around here.
I'd really rather not be in this
I'll find
water.
a place to climb up.
Pretty sure he ought to be able to climb up there.
Helena, can you do something about these bars?
I can try. Hold on.
Yeah, it's telling me where to climb up over there.
Leon, get out of there! It's coming!
Thanks.
So in co-op, the Helena player has to shoot the giant glowing orange tongue, which, if they're in the wrong place, could be quite tricky. Suddenly seems to be moving an awful lot slower.
Thanks.
Leon! It's coming!
Glad you stuck around.
Gonna have a quick look back the way Helena came. If there's any green herbs or anything. Traditional these days for characters who've come out of water to be wet, which is really nice. It makes the world feel more real. Because of course you can have a world that's real, but characters that feel disconnected from it. But things like going in water makes you wet. Make it feel like that character is part of that world as well as. Just a world. I think that'll do. You open the gate to let Leon through by piloting that thing with a laser sight, which is not obvious. Or really doesn't make any sense. Laser sight powered gate mechanisms.
Roger. Come on.
Ammo lying on the ground around here.
Get ready! Here it comes! Aim for the dynamite!
That's not the right weapon for this.
Good job!
He's sterilizing the area.
And destroying the evidence.
How could he?
Thank God you're still alive.
Where's Simmons?
After speaking with you, he left. In a hurry.
Shit.
Where did he go?
As he was leaving, he was talking to someone on the phone. He didn't sound too happy.
Any way we can find out where he went?
Don't worry. I've got a tail on him. He's on his way to the airport right now, where his private jet is preparing to leave for China.
China?
Yes. Take a look at these.
What happened?
Another bioterrorism attack. The BSAA confirmed it was the same one used in Eastern Europe 6 months ago, called the C virus.
C virus?
We saw cocoons just like that here.
We need to stop Simmons and take him into custody right away.
We have no evidence. And right now, you two are on the top of their list of suspects.
No.
Listen, Hunnigan. I need you to fake our deaths.
Can you do that?
What?
Of course. But they'll figure it out eventually. What are you going to do?
We're going to China.
And that's Leon Chapter 3, substantially shorter. 54 minutes, less than half the time it took me to complete the previous level. And nothing really happened in the plot. We escaped. The dialogue acted as if we'd just left via the door. I wonder what they're going to do when they run out of letters for the viruses. I always thought, what's it called, QI was going to have a bit of trouble, because they started with A and then went on to B, but I don't think they've really thought this ahead, because when Resident Evil sort of 29 comes around, they're not going to have any letters left over for viruses. Alright, well, I'll be back for Leon Chapter 4 whenever I can find time to do it.